Cause right now I really feel I am flying, releasing my troubles. And although you're so far, I really feel we're in.
Well, welcome to Canada, the land of dense forests and endless lakes. Now, it feels so good to be back in this little beauty. And now in our hotel room, we had loads of space, endless water, all those things you miss in van life. But there's something about being here that just makes it feel like home. But since it's all your last, we have been busy. Now, as you can see, we've got gas. Now, if you're thinking of bringing your camper here, a top little tip for you is you can get gas bottles from Canadian Tire, Walmart, those kinds of places, but they're quite a big bottle and they wouldn't fit in our locker. It seems to be kind of a one-size-fits-all kind of option. So we found a company called Mr. Propane. They're just over the river from where you pick your van up at the port, and they do a huge range of gas bottle sizes, which are all refillable. They'll also vacuum your tanks out for you before you leave and give you a certificate. So if you've got refillable tanks, that's handy to know. And the legends even let us fill up with water too. And you know me, most important job was to stock the fridge, which we did at the old famous Walmart.
And for all you Skegnessians, you would have fit right in that shop, I have to say.
There was some sights.
But before we hit the road, there's a few more jobs to tick off the list.
Now, one thing that has made our life so much easier since we got here is the weather's been really mild. We've had some beautiful sunny days, and I think the coldest it's got down to is about -4, so it's made so much easier, like packing everything in the van and getting sorted.
But we did get a few funny looks, Mike, because when we did sort the van out, we got everything out in the car park. People were driving past thinking, what are these doing? But I think they see the plates and then they sort of understand.
And true Canadian style, the guy came over to us, was having a good old chat about where we're from, what we're doing, so that was brilliant.
But we are due a snowstorm tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But the Canadians seem to be pretty well prepared anyway.
Because pretty much in every car park, they got one of these little beauties parked up in the corner, ready and waiting. Now, if you're like me and watched plenty of American and Canadian YouTube over the years, then you'd have heard of this shop a few times. The old Home Depot. Go see what it's all about.
It's like a kid walking into Toys R Us.
That reminds me actually, they do have Toys R Us here, weirdly.
Well, before he goes off on one of his tangents, I think Home Depot feels just like Bunnings. Feels like I've come home. Only difference I would say is, don't often get the tracked snow blowers in a Bunnings. And I also noted no sausage sizzle, so they lose points for that one too. What they do get points for though, the old smokers. I love a bit of brisket. Beauty. This washing machine is quite a big one by English standards. And then you meet the big nasty. I reckon you'd only have to do the washing once a month. Well, you all know how much I love my Wagner spray gun, but I think I'm due an upgrade. It's time to go cordless, baby.
Now, she's stolen my thunder, but I have to say Home Depot is pretty impressive. But the main reason we're here is because I need to get some tools, because when we need to put the tyre studs in, I'll need a drill to do it. So I've been having a look, plenty of selection, but these are all pretty much the same as what I got at home. So I decided, first thing on the list that we're getting is a 90-degree drill. Now for the second one, you know, I've been fantasising about this one for a while. 18-volt tyre inflator. Now they do this 12-volt little dinky version, which is quite cool, but from what I've read, this one just isn't as powerful and doesn't pump them up so fast, so 18-volt it is. Now, this isn't a necessary one, but I've been trying to convince Jess that we need it, and that is a 12-volt little chainsaw. Look at that little beauty. And the last purchase I've managed to get approved, but only because Jess is getting one too, is the Milwaukee heated vest.
I'm just gutted they don't do heated pants, because I'll be getting them too.
Now, I have to say a massive thank you to everybody who's supported us over on PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, and super thanks as well, because this is what we've got with all you guys that have helped us out. And we've got some batteries for the vests, some batteries for the tyre inflator, and also, kindly, there was a Milwaukee rep in there as well. Give me a hat. So it's a very Merry Christmas to us from you lovely lot.
And we need to say a very special thank you to Tors, Sierra and Claudia, Attila, Kevin and Tara, Nick, Phil, Cornish Davy Bob, Anthony, Paul, Mr. Holt, Miss Mufik, Widener, Tarquin, Ron, Lars, Gary, Anne, John, Lee, Simon, Barry, Mr. T, Labour History.
Mr. T, I pity the fool.
Labour History, Danny, Ian, I'm really sorry I'm going to butcher this, but Pinguish, Ben, Neil, Veres, again sorry, Mike, Busted Renovations, David, Lee and Bev, Pete, Tina, Sandy and Thea. And then we also need to say an extra special thank you to the people who supported us on the live, because we weren't able to support you at the time.
And we like totally missed it when we was doing it, so
yeah,
sorry
so
for missing it.
apologies, and a big thank you to Urban Fat Kid, Najkin, Len, Keith and Linda, Drone Pilot, Jamie, Richard, Steve, Anne, Brent, HJK, Absolutely Average and Karen T. We are extremely grateful. Thank you so much.
Legends.
Now, we brought all the same cold weather gear with us on this trip as we did for the last trip, and it did us proud, but we figured out a few things that would make a big difference in keeping us toasty and warm. One of those was the heated vests that we've got, thanks to you guys, and there's a few other bits on the list, as well as a few things that we need specifically for travelling in Canada.
So for this, we've enlisted the help from a local legend. Now, some of you might recognise him from last week when we met up in the pub with a load of you lot that watched the videos.
Good to see you, sweet. Oh, good to see you.
Lovely to see you. So this is Grant, man of many talents. He works at the Children's Hospital, Ski Patrol. He does mobile medicing for enduro biking, and he works here at Sports Check.
I do. It's fun. Get great deals.
Now, the first and most important Canadian-specific thing we need is some bear spray. Now, I know they're all asleep at the moment, but when they wake up, we want this. But I don't actually know what it is or how it works. So I'm going to get Grant to explain.
You know, more often than not, you're going down the trail, they're going to smell you long before you get there. They're gone. In the event that you come up on them and scare them, though, this is where you need it. So, and literally from 5 or 10 meters away, just spray and poof. And it's just like a pepper spray, so it's not hurting them.
But it should make them turn around and go the other way.
It'll stun them, and then you back away slowly and get away. It's great stuff, and it's nice, and you should have it on your person. Not in a pocket, not in a bag. On you and ready.
Bear spray. Grant's picked me out some outdoor research mittens. And the reason we want mittens is because it keeps your fingers together and then they share the heat rather than separating them in gloves. I've also got some liners.
And lastly, we need a good helmet, because we don't want to forget the nighttime activities again, do we?
Oh my God.
So we owe Grant, the absolute legend, the biggest thank you, because he let us use his staff discount. So, absolute bargain. I'm a happy girl. Thank you.
No worries. Good going. It was so great to have you guys here.
Well, that's all the shopping done, thankfully. But it started sleeting. We found a park up, so it's going to be interesting to see what it's like in the morning. Well, it snowed. I think there's only one thing to do.
And for the piece de resistance, ta-da!
Now, if you watched a couple of weeks ago, you'll know I've gone off carrots.
Well, the sun has popped her pretty little head out, so it's time to hit the road and get adventuring again. And one thing that's part of the adventure on these trips is seeing if you're going to get out of the park up in the morning. But I reckon the old girl's got it. Like a dream. She loves it. Can't forget to say goodbye to the neighbours. Latest frosty knickers. Welcome to Peggy's Cove. Now, no trip to Nova Scotia is complete without a visit here. It is a beautiful little fishing village on a gorgeous cove right out on the Atlantic Ocean, and it has a world-famous lighthouse that's been here since 1915, and it's one of the most photographed lighthouses in the world.
One thing that always gets me when you travel the world is when you see these English phone boxes, and in England we don't even use them anymore. Normally they're people in the village, they'll put like books in them, and for some reason they've always got defibrillators. How do you say it?
I can't say it.
Defibs.
How do you know you're in a fishing village? Christmas tree made of lobster pots. Now, it is only -7 today, but that sea air, it is fresh. Woo!
It's icy too.
Calamity Jane strikes again. So our first impressions of driving in the snow in Canada is that they do a really good job of clearing the snow really quickly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes throughout the country though, eh?
Yeah.
But when we were in Scandinavia, what they do to clear the roads there is a lot of the time they'll use big lorries to clear it, the big snowplow on the front, or they'll use snow shovels. But here it seems to be, they've got loading shovels in the car parks, but on the roads they've got utes with like quick pitch demountable snowplows on the front. So then they can have them ploughing and then take them off and use them as a normal vehicle.
Bit more multi-purpose.
I'd have thought in Sweden and Scandinavia and all that, they'd have run them sort of vehicles more because they're smaller roads. But yeah, it's just weird how different countries run different things anyway.
And Grant was telling us his son is a snowplow driver, one of his jobs, and they're saying when they know there's a snow coming, what they'll do is they'll go around and put like a liquid salt brine solution on the roads first, then they run around with salt, and then as soon as it starts to snow, then they start to plough as well.
But I've seen plenty of rusty vehicles here anyway, so it doesn't do the cars any good.
Now, if like Tweedledum here, you've got no idea where we are still in Nova Scotia, which is the far eastern province of Canada, and it faces out into the Atlantic Ocean. But we've been driving along the south shore today, and I don't know whether this is going to be all over Canada or just in the Maritimes area, but it's got our favourite kind of houses here, all these beautiful like wooden weatherboard houses with beautiful windows.
Yeah, and if you want to know what town we're in, it's called Lunenburg.
No, Lunenburg.
Lunenburg.
Tours with John. Well, Peggy's Cove, Lunenburg, see your lobster pot Christmas tree, and they raise ya. And they don't even have a star on top, they have a lobster.
Now, whilst I think it is amazing here, I don't think we'll be moving here anytime soon. There's that place there, 2 million Canadian dollars.
Yeah, but look how pretty it is though.
The shed's too small though.
Well, I hope for this person's sake they've got a UK registered car hiding under there, because I don't think they've got very much chance of getting in at the driver's side. I don't know what they've done to the local snowplow man, but I think he's got his own back.
Now, for all you lot last week in the comments that were giving me grief about the cars, I found you a Dodge Challenger. Oh, little beauty, look. Now, we're adjusting to living in the cold again because it's only got down to about -9 today, but it's meant to be -12 overnight, and it's started, isn't it?
The old windows have started to get their bit of frost around the edge. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's started to get frosty there all along the bottom here. So it is time to bust out my old thermal window covers. These are just like the super cheap version. I've just got some Reflectix, put it together with some spray glue and some silver tape around the edge. But it's unreal the difference it makes at the cold you can feel come through.
Yeah, it doesn't stop the freezing, but it just stops the amount of cold that comes through. Yeah.
Them off. It'll be all like, it'll look all magical and wintry, but
And they're not cheap windows, they're a couple £100 a pop. Now, the proper overhanding ones, you get the Motorcraft ones, and also Outbound as well, they do some good ones, and they're made of fiberglass, which are meant to be a lot better, but I think they're about £1,000 a pop, so £200 a pop it is. What we got tonight then, Joy, on?
we have tortellini alfredo.
Tortellini Alfredo, eh? She wouldn't let me cook tonight.
Wonder why that was. Right, what is it?
Mm.
No, you pleb. It's hot because I tell him every day, be careful, darling, it's hot. What does he do? Burn his mouth every ding dang day.
Mm.
Such a pleb.
What should we have on the box today then?
You know what we're having on the box. Oh yeah.
We're watching Lost. Now, I started watching it years ago when it first came out, because it's probably about 10 years old now, isn't it? In fact, probably longer.
Yeah, I think it's like 2004.
Although I have found a nice, cool YouTube channel. It's called Mr. Hughes. He rebuilds tanks, all sorts of weird and wonderful things, so that's a good watch.
Previously on Lost.
We're not the only people on this island, and we all know it.
Well, I think it's safe to say it was not was it, Jess?
It was not at all.
Now, we often get asked how we make the bed in this thing, so I'll show you. If you've not watched the build, there's a little latch on the back here, and then we've got some heavy duty sliders. All it does is that pulls out, and then the mattress chucked over there, and job's a good one. I've got this little leg that goes under here as well, because it's not that strong, and well, this is Jess's side of the bed anyway. I have to admit as well, I have to take one for the team for this one. Admit, lads, we should be appreciative of our women.
What is... Whoa. What is going on? I need to be here for this.
Because I don't do the food shopping at home, right?
At all, ever.
Absolutely detest it. And I had to do the food shopping the other day, didn't I?
No, he did not have to do the food shopping. I gave him a very short, very specific list of things to get while I did the vast majority.
Honestly, it was one of the most stressful days of my life. So firstly, she sent me off for dry shampoo. What is that all about? I didn't even know that existed. So I had to go into the lane, look for it, couldn't find it. So I had to get a lady to help me.
You didn't tell me that.
Then she asked me to get moisturiser, which I did.
No, you did not. I tried to use said moisturiser the other day because one of the things that I asked him to get as well was body wash. What did you buy, John? He bought 2 lots of body wash. One of them was just a Dove moisturising like body wash, which he thought was moisturiser. So there's me slathering it on my legs going, this isn't going in very nicely. Took me forever to wash it off in the sink.
It looked like moisturiser. It says moisturiser on it. She also sent me to get the lady bits as well, didn't she? Which was mortifying. But I got the right ones of them apparently.
We'll see.
But you know what the worst one was to find?
Oh, God.
The toothbrush. Why on earth do we need such a selection of toothbrushes? Why can't there be like 3? I was there for about half hour. We forgot to give you the results as well for what side of the bed people sleep on.
Oh yeah. So turns out a load of you are a bit kooky and you do like to mix it up. But that's because you reckon that the gentleman should sleep on the side of the bed closest to the door. So you change that depending on where you go.
But we did have 57% of people say the men sleep on the right hand side.
So I sleep on the right hand side and I sleep closest to the door. How does that make you feel, Johnny V?
A lot of people did say nobody was messing with Jess's guns if they came in, were they? Hey Alexa, turn off the lights.
We still don't have Alexa.
Although I've got a cool Siri that I need to show you.
Oh no.
Hey Sinbad, what's the time?
It doesn't work.
Hey Sinbad, tell me the time.
Here's what I found.
Off Sinbad, tell me the time.
It's 2039.
Very PC of me, eh?
We're gonna get cancelled so soon.
Well, it was a frosty one last night, as you can see, but looks like it's going to be a nice day.
So last night I brought us all the way across Nova Scotia for this beautiful coastal park. John, a bald eagle! A bald eagle! Oh my God, let me get my camera. Sorry about that, but I was a bit too slow to get him for you. But the reason we were so excited is if you watched our Scottish adventures.
Many a year ago, there was a lad called Wee Jamie. He travelled the world in crooks and socks in search of the best place to call him. This warrior has conquered many a foe with his weapon of choice, the bungee. bonny Scotland has stolen his heart and given him his freedom.
We've got to get back to the van because I'm going full Scottish under here and little John's going to fall off.
You'll know it's on the top of John's list to see one. So while I'm chatting to you, I've got him on bald eagle watch. But I brought us across Nova Scotia last night, so we're on the opposite shore and we're out on the Bay of Fundy, which is just behind me here. And it's such a beautiful clear day, you can see all the way across to New Brunswick. But the Bay of Fundy has the highest tides in the whole world, and with every tide 1 million tonnes of water flows in and out of this bay. How nuts is that? So our van is parked just up there where you can see the snow, and then you can see where the tide's gone out to over there. But the reason I brought us to this particular spot is because of these spectacular water and ice falls. It's called Baxter Harbour Falls, and you can only get to it when the tide goes out. Because as you can see at the bottom, where there's no solid ice, that's where the tide comes into. But they're just spectacular. And these are the kind of things we came to Canada to see.
Well, I got pretty close to a bald eagle, but I have to say, I'm not that impressed.
Now we did actually see a couple more from afar, but it wasn't great. I've got a plan. Now when I was doing my research around here, I saw that there's a place that they put food out for the eagles over the winter. And while they're not doing it just yet, my thinking is that if they're feeding the eagles here, there's probably a few in the area.
Yeah, look how big they are though. Like they've got to be a couple of 100 metres high, eh?
What has my life become?
What do you mean, what's my life become?
I used to race motorbikes, now I'm bird watching.
So I've looked at some fun facts for you today for the old bald eagles. And apparently they mate for life, and some pairs have been recorded to be together for 30 years. How cute is that?
But I think we must have seen like 15 probably.
Maybe. Yeah, I suppose there was quite a few at the beach, and then we've seen a few sets here. Although they go up to 3,000 metres high.
Now,
so
you think we've seen that many this morning? What about people that live here? If you live anywhere near bald eagles and you've got some good shots, send them through. But they have to be legit ones, not
no like AI or off of the internet stealing.
Should we have a poll on what we reckon we're going to see?
Ooh.
We used to do this actually when we was kids. Remember I was telling you before about my dad used to make these tick sheets up, and he used to laminate them, of course. But we'd see a green car and a red car and a yellow car, and you tick them off. So what animals do you reckon we're going to see on this trip? So I reckon moose, hopefully.
Obviously the bears are all asleep at the
Polar
minute.
bear. Can you imagine if we saw a polar bear?
Oh my god, I'd be so scared but so excited. That's like proper bucket list for me. Elk.
Wolf. I'd love to see a wolf, a black wolf.
It'd be cool to see a beaver as well. We have seen a little like beavers. What are they called?
I'd love to see a beaver.
Oh my god.
When we was watching Overland Sophia, she saw bears, wolves.
Coyotes.
Yeah.
I'd love to see coyotes as well.
Ben could have passed as a bald eagle, I suppose. I could say that, Ben. I'm balding if you're watching.
I don't think he's watching.
Now, we've got no excuse why we can't be getting them. Because look at that beast.
She's a weapon.
Don't know what we're doing with it again.
No idea.
If we have got a couple, but I reckon it'll be like in and focus, out of focus.
Wibbly wobbly. We're trying.
Did you think you'd be sat here watching us look for birds?
Yeah, you're watching us watching birds. Oh, it's a weird old world.
Well, sadly, I couldn't get us any close-ups of the bald eagles, but what I have found us is a farmer's market with an in-store bakery. I'll see you in a bit.
Now, she assured me she wasn't going to get a lot.
Great success.
Thought you weren't getting a lot.
I went in, it smelled amazing. I talked to the girl behind the bakery counter. She said it's these Morning Glory muffins.
Morning Glory?
They smell like cinnamony goodness. They've got carrots and apples and all kinds of stuff in there.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good job they got no icing on them anyway.
Oh, no ice?
Is it or what?
It is definitely
We need to make sure this doesn't become part of the vlog, really, doesn't it? I was surprised you wanted to try some Morning Glory.
Shut up.
Normally it's not your thing.
Don't do it. It's got like a caramelly, crunchy top, and then the inside is all fluffy but still nice and moist.
Are you going to wish everyone a Merry Christmas then, Jessica?
I am indeed-o. Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. I hope you're having a nice little glass of bubbly or something this evening.
Now, whilst you've got your mouth full...
Oh, no. You were waiting for this, weren't you?
In the morning, did you want to try some Morning Glory? And I just thought...
It is your birthday.
And I just thought, if you don't want Morning Glory in the morning, then I'll eat your muffin. Now, I get quite a lot of grief in the comments, people saying that it's too rude. Get me the packet, Jess. I know some of you will try and say that I'm insinuating something that I'm not. Now, pass me here, and I can assure you that the muffins were called Morning Glory muffins. So I don't want any grief.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy Christmas!
We've come for a little hike today.
We have indeed-o.
Let me spin it round. Let me spin it round.
We are in the Cape Split Provincial Park today, and it's like this little slither of land that pops out into the Bay of Fundy. It's a beautiful winter wonderland. It's like 0 degrees and snowy and like proper like powdery. I tried to kick it up, you can't see that. Powdery fluffy snow. Yeah.
But
Whee.
there's not much to do on Christmas Day when you're in a van, so a hike it is. And what is it, 12k hike?
12Ks.
We'll just get that in there.
Earning our turkey dinner.
Because we haven't done any exercise for a long time, so it's about time we got out in the old wilderness. But I was saying, isn't it funny how people say that they go out into nature to like have thoughts? And I was saying, I don't want any more thoughts. Like, I have enough thoughts during the day.
Are you sure you have enough thoughts?
Whereas, like, imagine coming out on your own as well. You just think all the time. At least I can talk about interesting stuff to Jess.
Interesting stuff. You don't want to know the things he talks about to me.
Now, here's a question for everyone watching, and you, Jessica.
Oh, I'm here.
And I'll be interested to know what it is, actually, because I've never asked you this one. But what is your favourite Christmas present you've ever got in your whole entire life?
Oh, that's a good one, but you go first.
So, for me, easy one. Pair of K2 rollerblades when I lived in Germany. Now, for any American or Canadians watching, that just might seem a normal thing, but back in the day, rollerblades, remember the plastic wheels where when you rollerblade, you could hear them for a mile?
Clunk, clunk, clunking.
Whereas these K2s had silky smooth rubber wheels with roller bearings, comfy boot, and they were the thing
like
to
a
have.
love note to
honestly, like, I remember that day for the rest of my life, so that was mine anyway.
Okay, mine sounds a little bit bougie. I got a pony. But hear me out, you don't have to be as rich in Australia to have horses as you do in the UK. We had this pony and my parents told me that I was just like riding it and keeping it to give to another girl on Christmas, and she didn't know. And then I unwrapped this picture frame and it said like, Jessica Horn is the owner of Freckles, and happiest day ever.
So I'll be interested to know what everybody else's favourite Christmas present, because I think it could be anything, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Whether it's a horse or a watch or just something simple like a teddy.
Little. Yeah.
So what's yours?
Well, we've made it to the end of the trail, and I think you'll agree it was worth the walk. Hang on, does that mean we still have a kilometre to go?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't feel my legs.
Get in.
I don't think I can get up the step.
So whilst Jess recovers, I wanted to show you a little Christmas present I got before we left. Now this is the Thermal Master thermal imaging camera, and it's the world's smallest thermal imaging camera, and it's so good it just plugs into the bottom of your phone. There's a little app you go on to see what it's doing. But when we were in the Arctic last time, I met up with Alex Frood and he had one, and we had our vans side by side, and I was looking at the difference between ours and his. And obviously with ours, because it's GRP panels, we hardly had any heat loss. Whereas with his, because it was steel, the amount of heat that was coming through was unbelievable. And when we get some colder weather and I find another van, I want to show you that. But for today, I thought I'd just show you. You know, yesterday we were saying about the amount of heat loss we get through the windows. Well, there it is, look. And we also get a bit through the door seal as well. And then on this side, we've got the thermal blinds in, so we haven't actually got that much heat loss through the window. It's only round by the frame. And then that little bit down there, well, that is the fan that comes out the toilet. So whatever's in the toilet is giving off a bit of steam. And then another reason I got it as well is for diagnosing mechanical faults. So if I've got like a brake sticking or a misfire, or even like in the coolant system, I can plug this in and see the temperature difference between them all. And then it also comes with a little macro lens as well that pops on the front of it, so you can diagnose like circuit boards and things like that. So it's a brilliant little bit of kit for the camper van.
Now, as much as I do love cooking in the van, I didn't much fancy trying to cook us a turkey dinner. So we're eating out at this German-Canadian restaurant who are doing a Christmas dinner. So for our starters, we have homemade butternut squash soup and garlic bread. Well, the soup was beautiful. Even had little bits of like ham hock in it. Absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, for our mains, we had a choice of a traditional Canadian turkey dinner or a traditional German Christmas dinner, which I'm going to butcher it, but I think it's called Sauerbraten. I'll put it on the screen anyway. So we couldn't decide, so we got one of each to share. Well, hands down, best turkey I've ever had. Sorry, John's mum, but it really was. And then for dessert, same thing again. We couldn't decide what we wanted, so it was apple strudel or a torte that I'm not even tempted to pronounce. So we've got both.
Well, I think all you at home need to join in with this one, because that was absolutely
Last one, I swear, but that was proper amazing. And in what we're finding to be true Canadian style as well, the owner lady came over, started chatting to us, found out what we were doing, offered that we could just go and park on her land, all 63 acres of it.
66 acres.
66 acres. But anyway, to finish off our Christmas day, we've got one more little treat.
Because we have got the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special to watch.
And to go with it, we've got our very own Barry Island spiced rum. Thanks ever so much to Tim and Claire, who do run the Barry Island Spirits Company.
And they even sent us their Barry Island glasses to go with it as well. So these come all the way from England with us.
I was so nervous about them on the way here, not breaking them. So a little bit of a Christmas tipple, my dear. We're going to be battered. Merry Christmas. Can you tell we don't drink a lot?
Try with some Coke. You can taste the spice though, can't you?
You can, it's lovely.
Is it like strong stuff?
Yeah.
40%! That's better.
Cheers.